from the capital of the world, it's the Jackie Gleason Show. And away we go!
Thank you. How sweet it is!
I must say, Sam, that this is disgusting.
Ladies and gentlemen, our orchestra leader, Sammy Spear.
Lovely, Sam.
Just lovely.
Sammy's at a disadvantage with his clothes. His tailor is out on a plumber's strike. You know, this is very unfair, Sam. I mean it. Your clothes are getting more laughs than I do. But I go along. I know you're upset. He's been very nervous, you know. We might have legalized off-track betting here in New York City. And since he's bookie for the band, you know, this would hold. I heard a joke. This is a joke. No sense in me trying to say that it happened to me or it happened to somebody. This is just an ordinary joke a guy told me, but it's a funny one. There's a show in New York playing like My Fair Lady, you know, and it's been playing for 3 years. Tickets are very difficult to get. And the guy's been trying to get tickets to this show for 1.5 years. Finally, he gets one ticket. Now, he gets the ticket, and he's going to a matinee. That's the only thing he can get the ticket for. And he goes into the theater, and he sits down, and on his right is an empty seat. And alongside the empty seat is a very, very old lady, about 70 years old, you know, dressed dowager style with the little thing around the chin and all. So he watches the first act, and the first act is over, and he gets up to go out to have a smoke, and the old lady gets up. And they're going up the aisle, and he says to the woman, he says, you know, isn't it a shame? He said, I've been trying to get tickets for this show for 1.5 years. She says, I've been trying to get them for 2 years. He says, is that so? She says, oh, yeah. He said, did you notice the empty seat between us? She says, oh, I have a ticket for that seat. He says, you have a ticket for the empty seat? She says, yes, it was for my husband, but he died. He says, well, that's a shame. He says, but why didn't you bring along a friend, one of your friends, to see the show? She says, they were all at the funeral. The American male has found a new place of relaxation. It's the Key Club. The most famous example of such a type club is the Playboy. The Playboy Club features food and drink, but the big attraction is the pretty waitresses dressed as bunnies. Now someone has thought of catering to the American woman, and a Playgirl Club has opened for the ladies, featuring food, drink, and male bunnies.
know, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at a guy who's been married for 34 years, and I'm still in love with the same woman. If my wife ever finds out, she'll kill me. Now, you take my wife. Please, you all know that. My wife talked. I had her on the beach. She got home, her tongue was sunburned. Valentine's Day this year, she gave me the usual gift. She ate my heart out. She missed her nap today. She slept right through it. I'll never forget our wedding night. God knows I've tried, but... There she was in one corner of the room with the lingerie. I was in the other corner with a chair and a whip. I tried to be so good to her. I said, here's some money. Go get a Jackie Kennedy hairdo. Everyone comes out of a beauty parlor today looks like Jackie Kennedy, not my wife. She looks like Lyndon Johnson. Always complaining about the housework. I bought electric iron, electric dishwasher, electric dryer. She said too many gadgets around the house. She had no place to sit down. What did I do? Bought her an electric chair. Tried to be so good to her mother. I said, my house is your house. Last week she sold it. She's not with us right now. She's in Algeria teaching him how to fight dirty. You women cost a fortune today. My wife went to the beauty parlor. She got a mud pack. For 2 days, she looked nice. Then the mud fell off. She puts this mud on her face before going to bed at night. I said, good night, swamp. She puts that cold cream on at night, an inch thick with a trowel. And she puts those daggers in her head. And she puts a fishing net over the whole thing. She says, kiss me. I said, take me to your leader. That's the way she looks in the morning when she gets up. She ran after the garbage man. Am I too late for the garbage? He says, no, jump in. Now she's on a diet, coconuts and bananas. She hasn't lost any weight because she climbed a tree. Her family told me she was a light eater. That's right. As soon as it's light, she starts to eat. She's tried everything, safflower oil. Now she's nothing but Limburger cheese and garlic. You can't get near her, so from a distance she looks thinner. You people think you have headaches? I got a boy 10 years old. Gonna be 11 if I let him. I don't want to say we want to get rid of him. We moved. We didn't tell him where. I got a brother-in-law came to live with us. Middle-aged man, still chases women, forgets what for. He gets jobs, and last year he was a lifeguard in a car wash. Now he tells people he's a diamond cutter. Diamond cutter. Mows the lawn at Yankee Stadium. Man, do you know what it means to come home at night to a woman who'll give you a little love, a little affection, a little tenderness? It means you're in the wrong house. That's what it means. And that's why I say, love is the answer. Someone to love is the answer. When you found her, grab a button, pound her. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. And you will be happy too. Thank you.
The gambling casinos of Las Vegas attract tourists from all over the country. There are daily flights to and from this gambling capital. The American Scene magazine now takes you to an airport in Chicago where some tourists are returning from a trip to Las Vegas. Coming up, pal. Da-da-down, down, da-da-down-down. Wa-da-da-da. Whoa! dead every time. Huh? I've been reading a magazine here. Reading an article in here about a lady driver. Her first day out. She backed out of her garage, drove through two hedges, knocked over a fire hydrant, tore down a fence, knocked down a lamppost, and ran over a bicycle. Then she lost control of the car. Huh? Oh, he's not back. I'll call him out. Hey, Craze!
Hey, Joe. Hello, Mr. Johnny. Oh, boy, Joe, I just been laughing my head off. I was with Belly Laugh Bailey. Woody, I just have to look at that silly face of his. And when he opens up his mouth, I'm laughing already. What I said to you when he got you. You know, Belly Lass was born in Ireland. Yeah. And Bookshelf Robinson said, "Hey, Belly Lass, how long are you in this country?" And Belly, excuse me for laughing, Joe. He said, "How long are you in this country, Belly Lass?" And Belly Lass is 5'10". Hey, Joe, Terrible Temper O'Toole just got a new apartment, and the whole gang pitched in and helped him and his wife move in. He got a great break, too. He got 3 months free rent.
You mean his new landlord gave him 3 months free rent?
No, his old landlord paid him back 3 months to get him out of the building. The new apartment's beautiful. His rent is $24 a month. Personally, I don't see why he needs 12 rooms. The apartment's on the ground floor, and the view is terrific. People standing out on the sidewalk keep looking in. And we're all there, you know, moving furniture around. In comes Jimmy Messina, Jack Philbin, and Duddy Duddleton, feeling no pain at all. Duddy Duddleton says, "What an apartment! Hey, boy, look at that kitchen! Hey, Terrible Temper, do you know you got hot and cold running?" Terrible Temper says, "Hot and cold running what?" Duddy Duddleton says, "I don't know what it is, but they're running." And we were just going to move. We were going, Belly Laugh Bailey, 5'10". And just then Buggy Lobato came in. He looked awful, Joe. I said, "Buggy, you look like something the cat just dragged through the ringer." He said, "Yeah, boy, I'm all knocked out. I've been taking flying lessons all week, and boy, was I scared." I said, "What do you mean you were scared?" He said, "Well, taking flying lessons can be pretty nerve-curdling." I said, "Oh, yeah?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh." He said, "Monday, we went take off and land, and Tuesday, we did outside loops. Wednesday, we did barrel rolls. And today we were supposed to do the real dive, but the guy didn't show up." I said, who, the flying instructor? He said, no, the mailman. I'm taking lessons through the mail.
From Miami Beach, the sun and fun capital of the world, it's the Jackie Gleason Show. And away we go!
How sweet it is. Oh, there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, our orchestra leader, Sammy Spears. There were 23 elephants. All of these elephants come out together, and we had a...
Mr. Gleason.
Let me tell you something. The things you've done for me, my friend, you have no idea. And I brought you a present for just to give you... Oh, my gosh, let me just show you. Unbelievable. It's a Japanese transistor radio. Fantastic.
That's a transistor.
This is unbelievable, Mr. Gleason. They have little earphones. The antenna comes up. It's just unbelievable. The way they... That's the wrong one. Just a minute. Oh, here it is. They wrap this up. You can hear the stereophonic sound, and it just comes out with the... How you like that, folks? I smoked my radio. You know, since I was with you the last time, I moved out of my $30 a month apartment.
You did?
I couldn't stand all those rooms. I moved with a reversible penthouse. It's a basement. Yeah, the elevator stands still, but the building goes up and down. There's one advantage, though, one advantage. They have a new garbage disposal unit at my place. It's called a window. Wait. There's this restaurant, you see, around the corner where I go, and they advertise all their meat is government inspected. I think all meat should be government inspected, don't you?
I certainly do.
Yeah, but not while I'm eating it. Oh! I'd like to have some FBI men come around and stamp your pork chops. They stamped my soup all over me, Floyd. I don't care. Then I got in a fight with the waiter, you know. He said, Rip, for 2 cents, I'll punch you right in the nose. He ran up a bill of $8. Very funny. Everything else went wrong then. You've been so nice and lovely. Miss June Taylor taught me a soft shoe dance, you know.
She did.
Soft shoe dance. I was out rehearsing. I finished rehearsing. I walked outside and it came out in the rain, pouring rain. I came back into the theater and my shoes hardened on me. Let you die?
Yes, sir.
Me too. Oh, God! Everything else, I tried everything in showbiz. I've been a failure until now, thank gosh for you. I had my own trained flea circus, you know what I mean? One day I'm rehearsing my fleas, and a dog walked by and stole the whole show. No, not yet, I got one more. I've been trying for years, you know, to make both ends meet. When it finally did, something broke in the middle.
gentlemen, the American male has always been hobby-minded. One of the most popular of these hobbies is that of building boats inside empty bottles. People have always wondered how this difficult task is accomplished. The American Scene magazine now shows you how these boats are built inside these bottles. Magazine has often commented on the secrecy of Russian rocket attempts. This secrecy is practiced so they can hide their many failures. However, our cameras smuggled onto the launch area of one of the Soviet missile bases has recorded this failure and embarrassment.
Люди, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
people visit Coney Island every summer. And a must for everyone is a souvenir picture to take back to the folks at home. We now take you to a photographer's shop on the boardwalk in Coney Island where a fun-loving couple are having a picture taken. Huh? Nah, the guy ain't gonna fix the pipes. Forget it with the pipes. Well, how you going, pal? Nah, I ain't got nothing to do. I just been reading a magazine. Guys have been driving me nuts. You hear what happened here last night? Guy comes in here, and he's got two birds. And they're parrots, I think. You know, they look alike, the two of them. Exactly alike. Now, he says to me, which is the male bird and which is the female bird? I says, I don't know which is the male or which is the female bird. What do I got? And the guy at the end of the bar jumps up. He says, just a moment. He says, I'm a bird expert. He says, I can tell him who the male bird and who the female bird is. I said, all right, buddy, you go ahead and tell him. So this guy says to him, now, here's what you do. He says, you take a big handful of worms and you throw them on the ground. And you will notice that the male bird eats the male worms. And the female bird eats the female worms. So the guy says to him, well, how do you know which is a male worm and which is a female worm? And he says, don't ask me, I'm just an expert on birds. I want to give it up, Donahue. This thing is driving me nuts with these people walking in. Guy who walks in today, he says, how much do you charge for your drinks? I said, 75 cents. He says, how much do you charge for your chasers? I said, nothing. He says, okay, give me a glass of water and a Scotch chaser. You know, I know that they send the guys in to aggravate me. You know, they're doing it just to get me steamed up. They have nothing else to do. They're at the pool room, at the bowling alley or something. The only guy that doesn't do it to me is Fatso Fogarty. He likes long pictures. This guy will go anywhere to hear a long picture. And they're having them longer, too, Mr. Donahue. They got in this magazine here. They just made a picture that's so long that if you come in after the second day, they won't sit you. Fatso Fogarty. He went to see Mutiny on the Bounty. You know, it lasts for 4 hours. You know him, he's eating and drinking all the time and dozing off. Murder. He's watching the picture and he dozes off and he wakes up and he watches it and he dozes off and he wakes up and he watches it. Well, he dozes off and all of a sudden some guy in the picture says, man overboard! My Fatso is sitting on the first row of the balcony. He dives right over the rail. Huh? Oh, he's in the back. I'll call him out. Hey, Crazy! Come on!
Hey, Joe. Hello, Mr. James. Hey, Joe, I was just in the back, and I was looking at a list of sweepstake winners.
Yeah?
And my name wasn't on the winning list. Oh, boy, am I glad I didn't buy a ticket. Gaylord Farquaad run away from home again. That wife of him drives him nuts. You know, she's been going for that first aid course there, that lesson in first aid for about 2 years.
Oh, yeah, I know. She likes that first aid thing, that instruction.
Yeah, the minute you're at their house, if you got a scratch in your hand, she bandages it up, wants to give you penicillin. Every night she opens the case, he runs out of the house. She got mad. She didn't have anybody to practice on. So this morning, she's walking down the street, and she's looking and looking and looking. And she spots a guy lying in the gutter, face down, with his head in a manhole. She runs over, jumps on top of his back, and she starts giving him artificial respiration. The guy looks up, he says, lady, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm trying to get a wire down the sewer. Why, Joe, you should have been at Rudy Callahan's house last night. What a party we had.
They had a party?
Yeah.
Well, I'm stuck here. You know, I can't get there.
You should have been there, Joe. What a party. We had a ball. And we played a new game called Wahoo.
What is that?
Wahoo. Did you ever play Wahoo?
No, I never play one.
It's terrific.
Yes?
You wait till 2 o'clock in the morning.
You gotta wait till 2 o'clock in the morning to play this?
Yeah. And then you pick any number out of the phone book and you call it. And when somebody answers, you say, let me talk to Wah. And they say, Wahoo.
Boogie.